In today's video, I will be making a pork roast uh, in my Wolfgang Puck pressure oven. This roast is about just a little bit over 4 pounds. And right here you see me rinsing off my roast. And I'll be drying off my roast with a paper towel because I will be adding a marinade that I'll make and show you how to make later on in the video uh, after I dry off this roast. When you're preparing a roast, the way I like to do it is after I dry off my roast, I'll place it in a 8 by 10 baking pan. And I like to put a rack under my roast so whatever drippings fall off, uh, it'll fall to the bottom of the pan and drain off my roast. So when you're preparing a roast, I like to have uh, where the roast, the fat, it's one side of the roast that has the fat on it. I like to cook my roast with the fat side up. And right here I'm showing there's no particular way you need to make uh, a marinade when you want to add like a rub to your roast. I use canola oil, and my dry ingredients I like to use rosemary, black pepper, seasoned salt, uh, and onion powder. And when you're making a marinade like this to rub over your roast, you want to make sure the consistency is like this, and right here is the way you want it to be. You don't want it to be too thick. You want it to be loose. So that way it rubs easily on your pork roast. So I like to use a little brush and I rub uh, the marinade all over the roast. Uh, I like to add a marinade because it gives it flavor. Uh, it helps it have a nice color to your roast, and the reason I have my roast with the fat side up is because the fat will cook down in the roast. It will help the roast to not to dry out. It will give the roast flavor, and so that's why I prepare mine and cook mine the way I do. Now, I put the roast in the pressure oven and I set it on one of the settings, uh, which is the function settings you see right here. The button that says function, you got you can either set it on bake, rotisserie, roast, toast, you know, uh, bake. So what you do is you set it on roast when you're cooking a roast. And I set it for 325. It took about 2.5 hours for the roast. Um, so as I started cooking the roast, I decided I wanted to. I decided to use carrots and potatoes in my roast. So I turned off the pressure oven. I turned the valve at the top of the oven and released all the pressure, which is so easy to do. It doesn't. There's not a lot of trouble to do if you forget something, and then you want to turn it off to add whatever it is that you forgot to add. But I decided that I wanted to add carrots and potatoes, so I took some potatoes and I cut them in quarters, and then I added my carrots because in this pressure oven, I love to cook roasted vegetables because it cooks it gives the vegetables a great flavor. They come out very tender, not mushy. And so it's just so simple if you want to add something to whatever you cook in the pressure oven. It's so easy to turn it off, release the pressure, remove it, add whatever it is that you want to add to it, and set it all over again. It doesn't take time. It doesn't take long to heat up again because it builds up pressure. So, once you turn it on and set all your settings, it builds up pressure very quickly. So I had to reset everything, and it started cooking just like that. I set it again on 325, put it back on roast, and 2.5 hours it was done. So as you see here, now it's done. So I release the door, release the pressure, open the door, and in 2.5 hours it's done. This pressure oven makes it so much easy to prepare something that could take you hours in an oven. And so here's my pork roast, and it should read about 170 for pork, but it's definitely cooked thoroughly because it's reading 200 on my the temperature is reading 100, 200. So it turned out really good. It turned out very tender. It was so it just didn't take long to cook. It's just amazing to me how well this pressure oven cooks. So thanks for watching my video, guys.